In this video, I'm going to be showing you how our print-on-demand store did $141,000 in a single month. And if you're new to the series, this is where I am building a print-on-demand business out in the open for everyone to follow along, so that if you are interested in building your own business, or maybe you're already running one, you can take what you learn from the highs and lows of our business and apply it directly to yours. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video, because I'm going to be sharing our profit and loss statement where you'll be able to see exactly how much we take home. First off, let's jump into our sales dashboard and hit a quick refresh so we know that we're looking at real numbers. And if you followed along with the series at all, you know that the high points of the week are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the low points are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can see the dips and peaks throughout the course of the month, and things really started to pick up towards the end of the month. Overall, our average order value wasn't anything too special, $41.85. We had a conversion rate of 2.5% and a total sessions converted of just under 3,000. Our time to fulfill shot up a little bit. I love how Shopify makes it a green number, like that's a good thing. But it shot up just a little bit, and the reason for that is that we added in a shipping protection option. Basically, if customers have the option to pay an extra 99 cents, and if they do, then if anything happens to their package, even if it's not their fault, we will cover that cost for them. And the reason that increased fulfillment time is that it gets added to their cart as a new product, and we basically have to reconfigure the app to automatically fulfill. It's a little bit technical, but just wanted to explain that's why it went up slightly. Our returning customer rate was 8.5%, and we had a total of 3,044 orders. So those are our sales stats from our Shopify dashboard. Now we're going to jump over to our Facebook ad account and take a look at how much we were spending on marketing and what our strategy was. So here we are in our ad account. See, October 1st to 31st. For the month, we spent a total of $43,704. So to do some quick back of the napkin math to calculate our overall ROAS, we did $142,000 about in sales, and we spent $43,704 on ads. Means we ran at a total ROAS of about 3.3, meaning that overall in the business, we spent $1 to make $3.30 back. Now, interestingly, you'll notice that if you look at the Facebook ROAS, it was only a 2.6. The reason for that difference is that there's obviously sales coming from other places besides Facebook, number one. Number two, Facebook's tracking is not perfect. So since Facebook is our main traffic source by far right now, I would guess that this number should be a lot higher than it is. We did about 9% of our sales came from email. But it's just something to be aware of, that this Facebook ROAS, the tracking is not always going to be perfect. Now, as for our strategy in our ad account, I go over this in a ton of detail in the 2-hour-long Facebook ad training that I just posted recently. So if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it, because I walk through step-by-step how to set this up. Basically, the way that our strategy works is we have our ad library where we're uploading all of our new creatives right here. And this campaign never runs. It's just for storing and holding our ads and keep things nice and organized. Next, we move our new ads into our testing campaign at a low budget to try them out, to be able to test a high volume creative so that we always have new ads that are ready when our main campaigns burn out. So if you're into baseball, you can think of this as your ads that are on deck or in the bullpen, ready to step up to the plate or go out to the pitcher's mound. I suck at baseball, so it's a funny metaphor to use, but yeah, they're ready to step in basically when it's their turn. And then within these campaigns here, they're basically all the same thing. It's CBOs. We just split them up. One is USA, one is worldwide, one is worldwide plus US, and it's 5 ad sets with open targeting and 3 to 4 ads per ad set. Then we have our DPA catalog here, which this is just cycling through all of our products on the site. And then we have our retargeting, which this is getting back in front of the people that have visited the website but didn't purchase for any reason. And as you can see, our ROAS here for the retargeting is much higher. It's just a lower percentage of our spend overall. All right, so now that we've seen our ad account, let's take a look at our email or Klaviyo account, see how much revenue we generate from our flows and our campaigns. Inside our Klaviyo account, you can see, same as Shopify, it says we did just under $142,000 for the month. And this number here, $18,531, is the amount that can be attributed to Klaviyo, which is about 13.10% of our total sales. And while email marketing is just 13% of our overall sales, number one, our goal is to get that up much higher. It should be closer to 25. That's just a matter of time with building out new flows and better campaigns. But second of all, it is a main driver of a lot of our profit at the end of the month. Because all of these sales, unlike Facebook, where it's paid advertising, this is just free money that comes from our existing customer list. So it costs us nothing. Like this whole Klaviyo account costs us like $500 a month. So it's essentially 18,000 divided by 500, which would be like a 36 ROAS. And in our Facebook account, it's like a 2.6 average. So it's extremely profitable driving revenue from our email list. But the best part is how little time it takes to manage this once it's set up on the front end. There's two different ways you can drive revenue from your Klaviyo account. Number one is your email campaigns. Number two is your email flows. So a campaign is when we schedule out an email to go to our entire list ahead of time for either a specific sale or deal or like a holiday that is going on. Meanwhile, a flow is something that we set up once and they are running all the time. And these are our flows down here that you can see. We have our pop-up list, our abandoned checkout, our abandoned cart, welcome, post-purchase, post-delivery, all kinds of flows that are anywhere from 3 to 7 emails long, so that anytime somebody comes in contact with our brand for the first time, they are receiving emails from us as long as they are interested in the brand, just completely automatically. It's one of my favorite parts of this whole business is all the automations you're able to set up, because it's set it up once, then forget about it. And honestly, our emails are not even that good. 17 cents per recipient is pretty poor, in my opinion. This should be a lot higher. But like I said, our goal is to get this up to about 25%. But even right now, this is about 60% of this number is profit, because it's just our cost of goods. So driving a lot of profit from our email account. So now we've seen our Shopify dashboard. We've looked at the ad account and our email account. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at our profit and loss statement and see exactly how much we made this month. So our total income for the month of October was $144,829.40. This is after the negative $13,543 for our discounts and just under $1,000 in returns, because we had $2,332 in our printer refunds for doing high volume with Printify, and we earned $1,753 on our 2% cashback credit card. We spent $43,702 on Facebook ads, spent $67,321 with Printify, and our Google ad spend was $916. And all of our transaction fees totaled $5,514.20, which brings our total cost for the month to $117,453.83, along with our overhead expenses, which were about $2,600, which means that this month we made $24,775.57 in profit, which is a 17.6% net margin. And if you want to learn how to build a store just like this, I teach everything I know completely for free. You can watch the 2-hour Shopify tutorial or the 2-hour Facebook ad training. I'm about to be doing one on our email strategy, so you can literally recreate a business exactly like this. I know that these numbers can seem intimidating, but if you just stick with it and you stay consistent and you keep learning and you stay focused is the biggest thing, you can definitely do this. I've seen people with zero business experience, zero experience selling anything online, start brands and make a lot of money extremely quickly. I'm not trying to say it'll be easy, definitely won't be, but nothing in life that's worthwhile ever is easy, but this is something that is attainable to you. I can say from personal experience. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Let me know in the comment section down below what questions you have and what you want me to cover in the future. I'm more than happy to show any part of the business that would be useful to you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.